Good morning and welcome to Saturday's special of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Recently, the Muslims all over the world celebrated Eid. According to the religion, it's the most important festival, and the Muslims celebrate it with elated, with joy and happiness. But during my conversation, I found that majority of them have forgotten the real origin and essence of the festival and thereby hangs a tail. That happens usually. The original significance of the festival is forgotten and they just remain rituals or occasions for celebrations and jubilation. Coming to Eid, the origin and essence of this festival marks Prophet Muhammad's quest for peace, universal brotherhood, social cohesion, and national integration. And all that is coupled with cultural activity and a deep compassion for the destitute. Absolutely great ideas. However, have they been observed? That is debatable, but anyway, I'm talking about Eid. Now, what is Eid? Here, when you talk to people, Eid is just celebration. It's an Arabic origin word and it means something that returns every year. That way, every festival, every occasion is in fact Eid. Eid is not celebration. Eid is something that returns every year, an annual feature. The second word is Fitr, Eidul Fitr. Fitr stands for acts of charity for the destitute, for the less fortunate. It's basically compassion and an act of charity. Now together Eidul Fitr means an occasion that repeatedly comes to revitalize the human spirit and revitalize with what objective? To have compassion and charity for the vulnerable sections of society. An absolutely laudable goal. Besides being the most sacred Islamic festival at the end of Ramadan, it's a beautiful reminder to the message for peace, unity, and inclusivity. And amazingly, though we find that there is an inherent aversion to Jews, this Eid, in fact, when it was first celebrated, included Jews. So this is a reminder, as I said, for unity and inclusivity. Amazing that what we talk today and swear by diversity and inclusiveness were hallmarks of Eid when Muhammad started it. Thus, Eid al-Fitr returns every year. And it's a reminder of the prophetic heritage of peace, of universal brotherhood, of equality, of social and cultural harmony, of religious diversity, beside the spirit of charity. Now, you cannot fault with any of these factors, whether it's diversity, religious diversity, whether it's cultural harmony, social harmony, equality, brotherhood, and unity of mankind. And at nowhere in the celebration of Eid, the women are forgotten. They are at equal level. At a time in this age when the world is in dire need of unity, interfaith and interreligious cooperation of understanding, national and social integration. The celebration of Eid should bring people together and create a spiritual synergy of human beings to preserve the shared cultural heritage, especially in countries like India, which have inbuilt inclusivity, religious diversity, and unity in multiplicity. In Medina, Prophet Muhammad first celebrated Eid, and at that time he built a multi-religious society. Now this society had a wide base. It was not just the Prophet's companions, that's the Muslim, but also included, as I talked earlier, Jews, Christians, pagans who don't believe, polytheists, and even atheists. So there was no discrimination, and all the religions came together. It was a secular celebration. It was a celebration of inclusivity of diverse cultures and religions. Thoughts coalesced as far as celebration was concerned. The only important part was charity towards the destitute, charity towards those people who are less fortunate than we happen to be. Significantly at that time, Prophet Muhammad celebrated this diversity and supported the inclusivity in his society through various initiatives. And this was, in fact, one of the finest initiatives where, despite all other things, you come together, celebrate, and show compassion. Compassion towards those people who are less destitute than you are, or rather more destitute than you are and less capable. It was a historic initiative, as a matter of fact, to strengthen the inclusivity and national integration. And it was written in the Constitution of Medina. Now, this was something which was written down so that it becomes a guidepost to the coming generations. And that Constitution of Medina, known as Mishak Medina, mentioned this. Now, going by this Mishak Medina, the Prophet formed one nation in Medina and termed it Ummah. And it was bound by the constitution written in 600 to 622 Common Era, that's AD, it was written down. Now imagine this word Ummah, which was a nation, included all human beings, Jews, pagans, Christians, polytheists, and even atheists. Now, of course, Ummah has come to mean only the Muslims. This is, in fact, a misunderstanding of what Prophet Muhammad meant. And possibly he was thinking, again, is a possibility of nation state as we perceive it to be, and not a state based on religion. Because state based on religion means that the people who do not belong to that religion are either not welcome or at the most are second-rate citizens. That was not what Muhammad in Eid al-Fitr and Mishke Medina mentions. And Ummah, as I said, included all. It did not include only the Muslims. Now, if the Muslims follow the peaceful ideals of Prophet Muhammad in letter and in spirit, then they must remember that Wherever they are a part of that nation. A multilingual, multi-religious ummah bound by the constitution of that country, which is considered one of the most outstanding parts of this whole thing. As a matter of fact, the constitution of all the democratic countries can be likened to Mishak Medina in many respects. For example, the constitution of Medina laid great emphasis on respect for diversity and unity among all tribals. That's what the constitution of India says. That's what the constitution of USA says. As a US, matter of fact, USA, the Statue of Liberty is a clear indication all the poor and the destitute are welcome. So, this respect for diversity, coupled with inclusivity and unity among all the tribals, and that is notwithstanding their religious, their doctrinal and cultural distinctions. So diversity is welcome. And the first clause of Mishka Medina goes like this: we are all one Ummah, nation or people. The same thing, we the people of India, that is Bharat gives us the constitution, or in USA. So it's not something which is superimposed, it is born out of the people. So the constitution of Medina, like the constitution of the great countries, lays emphasis on inclusivity, and in fact Eid al-Fitr is a celebration of that. If you take away the religion, even then it's a great festival. Ishq Medina in fact laid the foundation for an inclusive society system in Medina based on egalitarianism, humanism, civility, generosity, and general amnesty. Muhammad imbibed these universal values through different ways, and Eid al-Fitr was one such medium to inculcate social ethics of Islam in a festive spirit. In the truest sense, Eid al-Fitr at that time was celebrated to strengthen those principles on which prophetic society was built. And that is something which I don't find being stressed enough today. So every year, Eid al-Fitr arrives to remind of the Prophetic legacy of love, generosity, sociability, unity, solidarity. Now, this is incumbent on the Muslim part, that their concept of Ummah undergoes a change and embraces back what Muhammad taught in Mishke, Medina. But here, the things are other way around. Even Ambiyas who are Muslims are not deemed to be Muslims, for example, in Pakistan. Now, the fact that there have been changes, there have been problems, the socio-economic system at that time, in the 14th century when Muhammad came, was quite progressive. As a matter of fact, each religion when it started was very progressive. Slowly and steadily it degenerated into being hidebound. I wouldn't call it degenerated. It became crushed. So, in this world today in which we live, which is multi-religious, which is diverse, with the people of all colors, countries, ethnic backgrounds, cultures, come together practically everywhere in the world, these values, which are basically enshrined in Eid al-Fitr, are a way to foster peace, and communal harmony. From that point of view, Eid al-Fitr can be deemed to be a combining festival. Take it as a social festival like Diwali, like Christmas. Now, most of the people celebrate Christmas, they are not Christian. So, you can celebrate these festivals and still retain your identity of your religion. And Eid al-Fitr, as I said, is nothing but love, compassion for the poor, act of charity and gratitude that you are better than they are. And that is where the value of these festivals lies. And that's a celebration, in fact, of human beings, not of a cult, not of a religion. And that is what we have got to remember all the time.